Susan Avery, I'm the editor of My Purchasing Center, and I am at the Zycus Horizon 2012 event in New Orleans this week, speaking to some of the presenters and attendees and Zycus executives who are here. And right now I'm here with Mary Kachinsky, Senior Director, Strategic Sourcing at Cubist Pharmaceuticals, and she just did a presentation on the importance and value of data. Can you tell us a little bit about that for the people who weren't able to attend this week?
Absolutely, thank you. So my presentation was really focused around building a strategic sourcing organization, which I'm doing right now at Cubist Pharmaceuticals. And the element that is really important in launching a strategic sourcing organization is the ability to get around the data. The data is really key. And one of the first things I did when I arrived at Cubist was to run a data analysis in order to build a business case and to develop an opportunity assessment of where I thought we could drive some savings and initiatives to deliver savings to Cubist. And quite frankly, getting at the data when I first got to Cubist was extremely difficult because we did not have any systems and tools in place. So just to give you a perspective, Cubist is about a $700 million revenue-based pharma company in the Boston area. We're expecting to grow within 5 years to $2 billion. So we're anticipating a tremendous amount of growth. And to really substantiate that growth and to help fuel that growth, we're looking at strategic sourcing as the mechanism to drive savings so that we can reinvest in the organization and continue that growth that we're challenged with right now. So I came in and we ran some Excel spreadsheets and looked at the spend. I hired a team of consultants to come in to help me go through the data, and it took us a couple of months to really get our arms around it, and I never really felt that confident that the data was really as clean as I would have liked it to be. So I invested in a tool with Zycus, which is an iSave and an iAnalyze tool that now enables me to generate that same type of analysis much more quickly, but at the time it was all manual. And what I'd like to share is that the data is critical in that I was able to create the opportunity assessment that looked at initiatives which I put into waves, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, depending upon the complexity and what I thought might be quick wins to help educate the organization on where we could focus our savings initiatives. And that's how we approached it. What's really also an important element to share with you is that we have the support of the CEO and his direct staff, so the C-suite really understands and is very actively involved in our strategic sourcing work to support us, help open up those gates, help unblock areas where we might have some challenges, really support what we're doing. And their support has enabled us to really drive through the organization, actively engaging with our stakeholders, educating them on what is strategic sourcing, what is the value of what we can bring to them, and without sacrificing quality, timelines, or any type of slowdown, if you will, we're able to help them identify best-in-class source of supply, negotiate what I call competitive rates, not the lowest rates, and really help engage with the right suppliers across the enterprise that will help us with our growth. There are a couple of areas where I think it's important. So I think number one is the data. The data tells a story. It will help you build your business case and your opportunity assessments. But it will also help educate your organization as to where are the opportunities that sourcing can help you with in order to identify and drive those savings opportunities. Engagement within the organization is critical. Speaking their language, helping them understand that we're here to work with you and to support you, and that we're here to understand your needs. We're a support organization, so we're here to support them and not to drive their goals and objectives, but rather to understand them to help them achieve them, those goals and objectives. This year, it's rather unique to have it happen so quickly because I've only been there a year. We're going to be engaging with our finance organization in the 2013 budget process. And what we're doing that's a little bit different than other organizations, I think, is that we're looking for opportunities where we can drive savings through looking at the spend data for 2013 budget, identifying the specific initiatives that could help drive the 2013 savings programs, but aligning with the business owners, the business functional owner, to share in that number. So that savings number is going to be a shared collaborative number that we will then be accountable for in our goals and objectives in 2013, which I think is pretty powerful, to be able to say that, you know what, this isn't a sourcing initiative over here on the side, or that isn't Mary's savings target, but it's a Cubist target. So we're in this together, we own the number together, and if for some reason those initiatives don't materialize, we're going to go out and find some other initiative to fill that gap. So fundamentally, I think that educating the stakeholders at Cubist and also engaging and talking with our suppliers about the change in the profile of our relationship with them is critical. And one of the key initiatives that we also delivered in 2012 in December was Cubist held their first supplier summit. And we had about 130 suppliers of our key suppliers and about 20 to 30 key Cubist representatives. And in this forum, our C-suite actually spoke to our suppliers to talk about the vision, our financial situation, our high anticipated growth rate, and then I came in and talked about sourcing and how we were going to be engaging with our suppliers really at a different level, where the supplier and the buyer would now be on the same side of the table versus opposite ends, and to begin to talk through how do we collectively identify opportunities where we can streamline our processes, where we can look for opportunities for savings. And again, it's not about the lowest cost, but rather the value that we can bring to Cubist from a collective standpoint, supplier and buyer. So I think that we're changing the profile a little bit here at Cubist to really understand what is the value of strategic sourcing. Again, this is a new organization at Cubist. It did not exist until I came through in May of 2011. It was the vision of our CEO to bring in strategic sourcing while the organization was still small, $700 million in revenue, because he felt that it was important that we were able to help change the behaviors and the culture up to the degree where strategic sourcing would be embraced and viewed as a collaborator. And so that's a really significant, I think, different approach.
It's really impressive, and I talked to a lot of CPOs. Now, what categories of spend do you have responsibility for?
Okay, so we have in our organization the enterprise-wide spend. We have what we call tech ops. We outsource all of our manufacturing today. So we're working with CMOs, so that's outsourced. So that is under our umbrella, if you will. We also have the indirect spend, which is everything from IT to facilities to capital equipment. We also have research and development, which is our discovery, our non-clinical toxicology area, as well as farm side, which is our small-scale pilot facilities, and clinical operations as well. So basically today we have all of the enterprise spend available to us, and therefore can really impact the opportunities to look at that.
Great. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule at this event to spend time at my purchasing center.
Well, thank you for having me.